The following is a presentation of the Broadband Universe, brought to you in part by VETRO, the end-to-end GIS-based construction management platform that connects asset owners, operators, general contractors, and subcontractors for unmatched project control and collaboration. Manage every aspect of your telecommunications or utility infrastructure construction program with VETRO. Build faster, reduce costs, improve quality. Book your demo today on VETROsoftware.com to see how we can help you build at scale. Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of the Broadband Universe. I'm Craig Corbin. Thanks so much for joining us. It is a pleasure to welcome my guest today, CEO of VETRO FiberMap, Mr. Will Mitchell. Will, welcome to the Broadband Universe.
Thank you, Craig. I'm happy to be here. Really a pleasure and an honor.
Absolutely, and it is an honor to have VETRO FiberMap in the Broadband Universe family. Greatly appreciate your participation in this podcast series. So much to talk about with regard to what VETRO has going on. But before we get into the conversation, I'm sure that many of our viewers would love to know more about your background, how you got to where you are today with VETRO.
Sure thing. Yeah. Let me see. I'll tell you. I'm coming at you from Portland, Maine. I'm a native Mainer, and you might hear seagulls in the background outside of our office here. And Craig says that will be a first if we do. But I'm a GIS professional, so my education and training was in mapping systems and geographic information systems. Built a career in that zone, applying mapping tech to various problem sets and industries. And sort of wound my way into telecom mapping, coming from that background, and then fast forward, taking me all the way up to VETRO here. There's a lot of in between. That the VETRO story kind of goes back to 2008, actually, but we became VETRO and really came to market in 2017. And we can talk more about the history of the company, but that's just a little bit about my own background.
And thank you so much. I'm curious, given your background in GIS, obviously that's truly become such an integral part of what's going on today with expansion in the industry and so much growth that's out there. Obviously an understatement, but there's a huge need for that expertise. There's a close relationship between VETRO and the growth that's going on. How did that play into the genesis of VETRO FiberMap?
Well, the chapter right before VETRO, our company was called MBT Solutions, and we were a service bureau. We were doing GIS services work, but really building software solutions, mapping tools online for customers. One of the tools we built was called Fiber Locator, which was a discovery system for who's got fiber where. We did mapping tools for small local ISPs, desktop GIS-oriented things, all the way up to custom spatial systems for large national wireless carriers. And so we got this broad exposure to the mapping needs and pain points really in the industry at large, and kind of discovered a niche opportunity where the legacy offerings when it comes to GIS and mapping solutions for fiber specifically were a little bit out of step with what some of the needs in the market were turning into, with a lot of new entrants and a lot of transformation and growth. So we became a software company. We turned into a product company in 2017 when we launched VETRO. VETRO FiberMap is the flagship product. And ever since, it's just been a growth journey, a rapid and kind of wild and woolly growth journey to where we are today. But what we set out to do was build something simpler and very vertically focused on fiber, thinking like fiber, acting like fiber, all of the details of what goes into a fiber network on the engineering side, and how things are connected, how they're modeled in a GIS context. We attacked that problem set hard and with full focus, and what we came out with has been very well received in the market.
Well, that is the perfect segue to my next question, because I'm always interested in how solutions are received in the marketplace. Obviously, you and the VETRO team saw that there was such a need. Of course, many times, though, some folks might not know where their blind spots are. Interested, what kind of response was there to your initial go-to-market?
Yeah, initially we were working with mostly very small, hyper-local fiber to the home service providers, and many wireless ISPs, WISPs turning into FISPs, wireless going to fiber, sometimes for the first time. A lot of do-it-yourselfers, a lot of scrappy, engineering-oriented customers using the tool, and they had built do-it-yourself solutions in GIS using maybe Google Earth, maybe Esri, maybe QGIS, and typically a homegrown database, or more often than not a spreadsheet to manage the complex details of splicing and connectivity. And so anyhow, they didn't, that set of customers and businesses, they didn't have a just right solution available to them. There were some $1 million systems that you could bring on premise that were very heavy and expensive and overweight for the need. And then there was Google Earth and spreadsheets, which was free, which is nice, but underpowered for the need and not really tailored to managing a fiber network. So when we showed up with something that looked like Google Maps, but had the power and intelligence under the hood to manage connectivity, there was instant excitement. And we had some early adopters. They took it in, they gave us feedback, and we iterated and developed a really comprehensive and robust fiber management solution at this point.
It is always exciting when an offering produces positive feedback and acceptance right off the bat, and I know that's helped in the growth of the platform. You made mention a bit earlier the fact that VETRO FiberMap is the flagship component of the product portfolio. Talk about, if you would, what's included in the VETRO platform.
Yeah, the key word is platform. So as opposed to point solution, I'll tell you a little bit about what we're offering. So it's a cloud native software as a service delivered platform product. VETRO FiberMap is a fiber management mapping tool that rides on top of the platform. We built the whole thing from scratch, so we didn't adopt anyone else's mapping engine. We started with open source tools and libraries and technologies, assigned some very smart programmers to build up as opposed to strip down from something existing. So we started with a blank slate and built up just what's needed. And I think that helped result in what we call radically simpler fiber management. So a nice, clean, simple delivery. Because it's a platform, there are APIs available that serve answers or serve data up to the application, the mapping application that we've built. Those same APIs are exposed and available to adjacent systems. So it is an open platform built for integrations. And I think that's one of the super key things about where we're headed and what the market is asking for. And that is being really good in our lane in fiber management and playing nice with adjacencies with best of breed solutions in these adjacent spaces.
You're watching the Broadband Universe podcast, brought to you in part by Lit Communities. Light up your community. You deserve better internet. By VETRO FiberMap, radically simpler fiber management. By OnTrack, a proven leader in connectivity. And by our premier partner, Vitruvi. Build faster, reduce costs, and improve quality. Our guest today, the CEO of VETRO FiberMap, Mr. Will Mitchell. And Will, talking about the platform that encompasses all that VETRO brings to the market. So much has changed in the 5 years that you've been in the telecom industry as a software company. The move toward digitalization is a huge part of that process, a huge part of what VETRO does. Talk about that and how you have seen that change in the last 5 years.
Yeah, Craig, that's definitely a key theme, digitizing everything, and then leveraging that digitized information and data to build efficiencies and automations and integrations, and that's the world we live in and play in. We actually like to call the platform aspirationally the digital home for the physical internet. So we want to be that center of the universe, center of the broadband universe, you might say, for the ISP. And the map is so central to any network owner operator or anyone dealing with connectivity. You have to have a map. You got to know how to reach people and how to connect things, and to have that digitized and documented in a platform like VETRO or any really good fiber management solution, that puts you in a position to operationalize that data, and that's critical. That's what we're in the business of doing. Two quick things about the platform offering that I think are quite different and differentiating in the space. And they're new capabilities for us. So a bit of our history included a re-platforming. So we're young, but growing fast, and we recognized early on that our initial implementation needed some changes to the underlying architecture to support the scale that we saw coming. And so we bit the bullet and rebuilt the whole thing, relaunched a year ago. We call it VETRO 2.0. It's just the second generation of the platform itself. And that's put us in a position now to be delivering at scale anywhere in the world. We have a modern data pipeline capability that emits events and tracks everything that happens when you're editing a map, designing a network. When someone's getting connected, you can really orchestrate a lot of integrations and actions and workflows on a pipeline like this, and it's very exciting. It's just coming online. We also have a data lake, and for those who are working in big data, it's a capability to catalog, manage, store, deliver big data, and that is another emerging capability in our platform world that we expect to really bear fruit over the coming months and years as our customers really scale up and just get into bigger and bigger network management and planning, market analysis planning, tracking what's being built. So there's all kinds of use cases that this big data lake and data pipeline combo can support.
You just mentioned something that I think is important with respect to the customer base, the fact that worldwide VETRO is serving customers, and one in particular I noted in a press release recently, Giganet UK, winners of the UK Fiber Award for overall fiber provider of the year. Congratulations to them and for their being part of the VETRO family. Talk about those folks, if you would.
Yeah, happy to. We have some great customers in 25 plus countries now, a whole cluster in the UK. Giganet stands out. They are what's called an alternative network provider, or an altnet in the UK, and there's a whole community of those. It's an emerging competitive market space over there with a race to connect fiber to the home around the whole country. Giganet has just been doing it right. They came out swinging. They're growing really fast. And we used to say in one of our presentations, you can't build the network of the future with the tools of the past. And I feel like that they work that way, they think that way. So they've adopted VETRO to build on. You mentioned Vitruvi as another sponsor of the podcast. They're working with Vitruvi as well. And the VETRO Vitruvi integration is serving them well in their growth. So we're trying to deliver a lot of value and efficiency, and that's a very exciting story over there. I can't wait to go back to London in September to Connected Britain and reconnect with those customers and with them and with other customers.
Another perfect segue, Will, because my next thought was that the number of very important trade shows that are integral to life in this industry, and VETRO is extremely visible at all of the big shows. I enjoyed seeing you and your team there at Fiber Connect in Nashville earlier this summer. That's something that has been a part of the way VETRO does business, being out there and networking with folks at these shows. Talk about that if you would.
Sure. When you're a small company coming out into a space like this, you really have to break in and get to know people. And the trade show circuit was how we did that. I think, it took a couple of cycles starting in 2016, but by now we're well known and the brand is recognized. And I think what's most important, and I'd love to give a shout out to my entire team. The team's gotten bigger here. It's a very dedicated, creative, interesting bunch of professionals, and they're talented, and they also like to have fun. So I think there's a certain vibe you'll find around a VETRO booth. We had a great crowd at Fiber Connect. We hosted a party, and the whole thing was a lot of fun. And frankly, there's a ton of business flowing out of that event. And we'll be going to lots more. We have a few in August and a lot in the fall. We're definitely trying to get out there in the event circuit.
It is always exciting to see what transpires as a result of the contacts that have been made at these various shows, and always enjoy seeing you and the VETRO team at any of the events that I'm able to join throughout the calendar year. As we begin to wind down, I guess it's natural to look toward the future. We are in what I refer to as sort of the golden age, if you will, with all the tremendous funding opportunities that have presented themselves for folks looking to get into the industry. What do you see a year, 5 years, 10 years down the road?
Well, I just got fiber drop to my house last week, which was pretty exciting, and I think that's everyone's waiting for that. They're coming fast and furious from public money and from private investment. The private investment is actually much larger than even the infrastructure bill on an annual basis in fiber networks. So it's not new, but that's going to be a surge opportunity, in particular in areas that weren't kind of market attractive on their own. So the spread of fiber networks is going to be ubiquitous and borderline universal as we go forward over the next. It's going to take time, but let's say 3 to 5 years. It's going to be just a frenzied build period and investment in this infrastructure. We couldn't be more happy to be in the position we're in to support the builders and the operators out there. I mean, we're just a tool in their toolbox. We're trying to be the best one that we can be in fiber management, and give everyone a platform on which to build efficiently and effectively, and more importantly, to document and digitize as they go, even at the design stage forward, so that there is no data loss or blind spot down the road. So I think it's really important. There will be mergers and acquisitions. There will be roll-up in the future. And, having a well-documented network in a robust fiber management kind of context is really going to be critical for the valuation of the network and for the transfer, the sharing of assets. All kinds of operational use cases really rely on the digital transformation, the digitization you mentioned before.
Critically important. That was the perfect way to describe that. For those who would love to learn more about what VETRO brings to the table, what's the best way for folks to find out about getting a sample of what VETRO does?
Yeah, the web is a good thing, and we like to get everyone connected to it at faster speeds with with what we're offering. And we are passionate about connectivity and helping move society forward as well as infrastructure forward in the connectivity context. So anyway, long story short, VetroFiberMap.com is your best way to find us, and from there we've got social media channels, and you can connect with us any which way, but VetroFiberMap.com is the best way to go to get started.
And a lot of great folks there that are anxious to talk with anyone that is curious about learning more of the VETRO platform. Will, it's been a blast to visit with you, as always, and look forward to the next opportunity down the line to see what is kicking with VETRO.
Thank you, Craig. This has been a treat. I really appreciate what you're doing and the way that you help connect people in the space. And your sponsors are our friends and customers. Your guests are our friends and partners as well. And it's nice to have a forum like this. So good job and thank you.
Absolutely, it's been a treat. On behalf of Will, thanks for letting us be a part of your day. We'll see you next time right here on the Broadband Universe. So long, everyone.
Take care.